Imagine earning hundreds of millions of dollars during one of the greatest basketball careers in history, only to make even more money after you retire. Sounds impossible, right? Well, that's exactly what happened to Michael Jordan. While most people remember him for his 6 NBA championships, impossible buzzer beaters, and gravity defying dunks, the truth is that basketball is no longer the biggest source of his wealth. In fact, every single year, Michael Jordan earns far more from selling sneakers than he ever made dribbling a basketball. Even though he retired from the NBA over 20 years ago, his partnership with Nike continues to generate hundreds of millions of dollars annually, making it one of the most successful endorsement deals in sports history. So, how did a rookie basketball player turn one shoe contract into a multi-billion-dollar empire? Why did Nike take such a huge gamble on a young Michael Jordan back in 1984? And how is Jordan still making more money today than many active athletes? Let's break it all down. To understand the story, we need to travel back to the early 1980s. Believe it or not, Nike wasn't the sportswear giant we know today. Today, it's hard to imagine basketball without Nike. But back then, Nike was mostly famous for running shoes. Basketball wasn't its strongest category. Instead, Converse dominated the NBA. Nearly every superstar wore Converse shoes, including Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Julius Erving. Adidas was also incredibly popular, especially among young athletes. Nike needed a breakthrough, and it desperately needed a new face to compete with its rivals. That face turned out to be a young college basketball player from the University of North Carolina named Michael Jordan. Jordan had just hit the game-winning shot in the 1982 NCAA championship, and by 1984, he was entering the NBA draft as one of the most exciting prospects in years. But here's something that surprises many people. Michael Jordan didn't even want to sign with Nike. In fact, he preferred Adidas. Jordan loved Adidas growing up and reportedly hoped they would offer him a contract. Unfortunately for Adidas, the company was going through internal changes and wasn't prepared to make Jordan a serious offer. Converse also wasn't interested in building its brand around one rookie because it already had several established superstars. That left Nike with a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Nike's executives knew they needed to think differently. Instead of simply paying Jordan to wear their shoes, they built an entire brand around him. They offered him a 5-year contract reportedly worth $2.5 million, an enormous amount for a rookie at the time. But the real genius wasn't the salary, it was the royalty clause. Nike agreed to give Jordan a percentage of every Air Jordan shoe sold. Looking back, this might be one of the most valuable business decisions ever made. At the time, however, nobody expected what would happen next. Nike hoped the Air Jordan line would generate around $3 million in sales during its first year. That seemed ambitious enough. Instead, the shoes sold over $100 million in their first year alone. Imagine planning for $3 million and ending up with $100 million. That's like opening a lemonade stand expecting to sell 10 cups and accidentally serving the entire city. Part of the success came from great timing, but another huge factor was brilliant marketing. Nike didn't just release another basketball shoe, they created a story. One of the most famous marketing moments came when the NBA temporarily banned the original black and red Air Jordan sneakers because they didn't match league uniform regulations. Whether Nike leaned into the controversy or not, they turned it into marketing gold. Their advertisement suggested that while the NBA couldn't stop Michael Jordan from playing, they could try to stop his shoes. Suddenly, every teenager wanted the sneakers the league supposedly didn't want them wearing. Sometimes, breaking the rules, or at least appearing to, creates the best advertising. Of course, the shoes alone wouldn't have succeeded without Michael Jordan's incredible performances on the court. Almost immediately, Jordan proved he wasn't just another rookie. He won Rookie of the Year, became one of the league's biggest stars, and eventually led the Chicago Bulls to 6 NBA championships. Every spectacular dunk, every clutch shot, and every championship victory made the Air Jordan brand even stronger. Fans weren't simply buying basketball shoes anymore, they were buying a piece of Michael Jordan's greatness. Wearing Air Jordans became a statement. Even people who had never played basketball wanted them because they represented excellence, confidence, and style. As the years went on, Nike realized something important. Michael Jordan wasn't just endorsing products, he had become a brand himself. So instead of treating Air Jordan as just another shoe collection, Nike created Jordan Brand as its own business. This was a major shift. Jordan Brand expanded beyond basketball shoes into clothing, accessories, casual sneakers, golf apparel, training gear, and even collaborations with luxury fashion brands. Today, Jordan Brand operates almost like a separate company inside Nike. It sponsors professional athletes across multiple sports, including NBA stars, NFL players, golfers, and even college athletic programs. In many ways, the Jumpman logo has become just as recognizable as Nike's famous swoosh. Now let's talk about the numbers because this is where things become almost unbelievable. During his entire NBA career, Michael Jordan earned roughly $94 million in salary. That sounds like an enormous amount, and it is. But compared to his Nike earnings, it's surprisingly small. Today, Jordan reportedly earns around 5% in royalties on Jordan Brand sales. Jordan Brand generates billions of dollars in annual revenue for Nike. In recent years, those sales have exceeded $7 billion in a single year. That means Michael Jordan can earn well over $300 million annually just from Nike royalties. Think about that for a second. Jordan makes more money in 1 year selling sneakers than he earned during his entire 15-year NBA career. And remember, he retired in 2003. His biggest paychecks now arrive long after he stopped playing professional basketball. So why do people keep buying Air Jordans decades after Michael Jordan retired? The answer lies in branding, scarcity, and culture. Unlike many sneakers that stay on store shelves year-round, Nike carefully controls the release of Air Jordans. Popular models often launch in limited quantities. When supply is limited and demand remains high, prices naturally increase. Some sneaker enthusiasts even camp outside stores or enter online lotteries just for the chance to buy a pair. Others purchase them only to resell them for 2 or 3 times the original retail price. Certain rare Air Jordans have sold for thousands of dollars, while game-worn pairs have fetched millions at auction. Sneaker collecting has become a global business, and Jordan Brand sits right at the center of it. Jordan Brand also mastered nostalgia. Every few years, Nike re-releases classic Air Jordan models from the 1980s and 1990s. Older fans relive memories of watching Jordan dominate the NBA, while younger generations discover the designs through social media, celebrities, musicians, and athletes. The shoes remain relevant because they're no longer just sports equipment. They've become fashion items. You'll find people wearing Air Jordans with jeans, suits, shorts, dresses, and everything in between. Many owners never step onto a basketball court. They're buying style, history, and cultural status. Another reason Jordan continues earning so much is because the brand constantly evolves. Instead of relying solely on classic designs, Jordan Brand releases collaborations with musicians like Travis Scott, luxury fashion labels such as Dior, and popular streetwear companies. These collaborations generate enormous hype, often selling out within minutes. Social media amplifies every release, creating excitement that traditional advertising could never achieve. The result is a cycle where limited availability fuels demand, which increases resale prices, making the shoes even more desirable. But Michael Jordan didn't become a billionaire through Nike alone. His business decisions extended far beyond sneakers. In 2010, Jordan purchased a majority stake in the Charlotte Bobcats, later renamed the Charlotte Hornets. At the time, he reportedly paid around $275 million for control of the franchise. Many people questioned whether it was a smart investment because the team struggled on the court. However, NBA franchise values skyrocketed over the following decade thanks to massive television contracts, sponsorship deals, and global popularity. In 2023, Jordan sold his majority ownership stake in the Hornets at a valuation of roughly $3 billion. Once again, ownership proved far more valuable than simply earning a salary. This reveals one of the biggest lessons in Michael Jordan's story. Wealth isn't just about how much money you earn, it's about what you own. During his playing career, Jordan was one of the highest paid athletes in the world, but salaries have limits. Ownership doesn't. When you own part of a successful business, your wealth grows as the business grows. Every Air Jordan sold helps Nike make money, and because of his royalty agreement, it helps Michael Jordan too. Every increase in Jordan Brand's value benefits both Nike and Jordan. Instead of trading time for money, he built an asset that generates income year after year. Of course, the road wasn't completely smooth. Not every endorsement or business decision worked perfectly. Jordan has faced criticism over various business choices throughout his career, and some products have performed better than others. But the Nike partnership remained remarkably consistent because it was built on long-term value rather than short-term trends. Instead of chasing every new opportunity, Jordan and Nike focused on protecting the brand's reputation. They rarely flooded the market with unlimited products. Scarcity remained part of the strategy. There's also a psychological element behind Jordan Brand's success. Michael Jordan is widely considered by many to be the greatest basketball player of all time. Whether you agree or prefer LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, or someone else, Jordan's legacy remains incredibly powerful. His competitive mindset, iconic moments, and global fame continue attracting new fans. The documentary The Last Dance introduced his story to an entirely new generation, leading to renewed interest in Air Jordans and Jordan merchandise. In other words, the legend keeps selling the product. Perhaps the funniest part of this story is that Michael Jordan probably can't wear every pair of sneakers that bears his name. Jordan Brand releases so many different models, colors, and collaborations each year that even Michael Jordan himself would struggle to keep up. Somewhere in the world, there are probably sneaker collectors who own more Air Jordans than Michael Jordan does. That's a strange thought, but it's a testament to how massive the brand has become. What makes this business story so fascinating is that it completely changed athlete endorsements forever. Before Michael Jordan, athletes were mostly paid fixed endorsement fees. After Air Jordan's incredible success, companies realized that building brands around athletes could generate far greater returns. Today, stars like LeBron James, Stephen Curry, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, and many others negotiate deals involving royalties, equity, or signature product lines. Michael Jordan helped create the blueprint. His partnership with Nike showed that athletes weren't just marketing tools, they could become businesses themselves. There's another lesson hiding in plain sight. Timing matters, but preparation matters even more. If Jordan hadn't become an extraordinary basketball player, Air Jordans might have faded away after a few seasons. Likewise, if Nike hadn't invested heavily in marketing, design, and storytelling, even Jordan's talent might not have been enough. Success came from combining an incredible athlete with brilliant business strategy. Neither side could have achieved the same results alone. Today, Jordan Brand continues generating billions in annual sales, making it one of Nike's most valuable divisions. Michael Jordan remains one of the highest paid athletes in the world, despite not playing professional basketball for decades. Every time someone buys a pair of Air Jordans, whether they're a teenager buying their first sneakers or a collector adding another pair to the shelf, a portion of that sale still ends up in Michael Jordan's pocket. That's the power of ownership, branding, and a deal that changed sports business forever. So the next time you see someone wearing Air Jordans, remember this. You're not just looking at a pair of sneakers. You're looking at one of the greatest business decisions in sports history. A rookie who almost signed with Adidas ended up creating a brand worth billions. A basketball career that earned around $94 million became the foundation for a business empire that pays him hundreds of millions every single year. Michael Jordan didn't just become one of the greatest basketball players ever. He became one of the smartest athlete entrepreneurs the world has ever seen, proving that sometimes the biggest victories don't happen on the court. They happen in the boardroom.